5 days after the world lost a global icon, a memorial for Nelson Mandela was held at the FNB Stadium in Johannesburg. Over 91 presidents, prime ministers, kings, princes, generals, sheikhs and grand dukes attended the service, making it the biggest of its kind ever. Madiba's widow, Graça Michelle, was lovingly embraced by his former wife, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, as she entered the stadium to loud applause from the waiting crowd. Tens of thousands of public mourners flocked to the stadium in the early hours in a bid to ensure they had front row seats to history.
Scores of mourners queued at these gates since the early hours of this morning, some of them since midnight. They all had one purpose: to give Tata Madiba a dignified send-off.
And I think for us public, ordinary South Africans, this is a way for us to say goodbye and just show appreciation for everything that is done for our country.
And I'm just really glad to be here to know about our history and to be part of Nelson Mandela's memorial service.
We're here to honor and celebrate his legacy.
And to celebrate life.
Yeah.
They braved the rainy weather, sang, danced, remembered and paid tribute to Madiba.
The top pavilion underneath the grandstand has become the focal point for thousands of people attending Nelson Mandela's memorial at the FNB Stadium today. Struggle songs are reverberating through the stadium, and the rain coming down is not dampening the spirits of the people here.
There was a constant stream of dignitaries from across the globe, including British Prime Minister David Cameron, US President Barack Obama, South African actress Charlize Theron, Irish rock star Bono, and former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan. South Africa's political and struggle elite were out in force and came to say farewell to a man who shaped the course of history. Rugby legend Francois Pienaar, who received the 1995 World Cup trophy from Mandela, says he will always remember Madiba and what he meant for South Africa.
He's genuine. He's a real person. He's not a man that says something and does something else. So we've got the most amazing blueprint to try and follow in his footsteps. When he said that, this country, the healing of wounds has started in 1994, and we have an opportunity to build something special. We should never let that flame of his be doused.
Eventually, the memorial service got underway with ANC Cyril Ramaphosa kicking things off. On the speaking list were Nelson Mandela's close friend Andrew Mlangeni, also some of the grandchildren, and of course 6 presidents from across the world.
The great man has left, but Mandela's thought and his spirit will live forever.
Nelson Mandela was more than one of the greatest leaders of our time. He was one of our greatest teachers. He taught by example.
He speaks to what's best inside us. After this great liberator is laid to rest, and when we've returned to our cities and villages and rejoined our daily routines, let us search for his strength. Let us search for his largeness of spirit somewhere inside of ourselves.
Of all the speeches, South Africans were eagerly waiting to hear from one man, US President Barack Obama. Obama says that Nelson Mandela made him want to be a better man. President Jacob Zuma didn't receive the same response, with the crowds booing him several times today.
Madiba was a courageous leader. Courageous leaders are able to abandon their narrow concerns for bigger and all-embracing dreams, even if those dreams come at a huge cost.
President Zuma was the one who bestowed the final honour on the father of the nation by announcing the renaming of the amphitheatre at the Union Buildings, where he was inaugurated in 1994. It will be known as the Nelson Mandela Amphitheatre, and it's where his body will lie in state for 3 days before being transported to his home village of Qunu. That's where the world will say its last goodbye, and South Africa's first democratic president, Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, will finally be laid to rest.